So the current show in the Slide Room Gallery is our 2017 Kreye Residency exhibition. So the Kreye Residency is something I started with Don Kreye in homage to his wife Bonnie Kreye, who passed away a few years ago, and Don wanted to do something to create a legacy for his wife. So artists can apply to the residency and they can stay there for 1 month or 3 months. And in the summer now, the residency also includes a place to stay. So last year there were 4 artists, and part of the residency is that at the end of the year, the artists get to exhibit in the Slide Room Gallery. So that's the connection with Visa, and we help administrate the residency to a certain extent. So this year we had I think something like 45 applications from all over the world. It helps have the residency with accommodations. So that really is going to be exciting to see what that brings. So I'll talk a little bit about each of the artists. And an interesting show to curate because the artists weren't brought together because of a similarity in their work. They just happened to be in the residencies. So part of our role in the gallery and with my curatorial study students is to take work and how can we make it work together. And I think that it turned out quite well in terms of the color relationships and some of the ideas. So I thought we'll start here with Anna Heywood-Jones' piece, which is a weaving, as you could see, and it's dyed with indigo. And it's a piece that's about her father who has dementia, and she wanted to find a way to express this in a visual manner. So each of the folds represent 1 decade. So he's 70. And she talked about the specialness of indigo, because even though it's called a dye, it's not. It's a pigment, so it rests on the surface. So the idea is when people have dementia, they remember memories from their earliest years the clearest. So to have all the pigment resting on top was a sort of metaphor for the information. And then losing the color as he loses his memory. And then towards this is him in his current state, and she's starting to take it apart. And Anna spoke about when she exhibits in other places, more will be taken apart. So just a really beautiful way to represent visually such a difficult work, a difficult subject matter, really. And her practice is a lot to do with natural plants and dyes, so interesting how she incorporated that into her work. So then we'll move on to the next artist, which is Emily Harrison. And she's done these 2 really bright paintings. There's one here and one over there. And they're scenes from Hornby Beach, or Hornby Island. And you could see what this represents, or it's a kind of homage to Manet's Déjeuner sur l'herbe, but with the position changed, the nude man instead of the nude male. And interesting how she does these paintings too. Like when you start looking at it, she uses a lot of spray paint, and it's just, you could tell that they're just done quickly, but with such a sense of confidence. So nothing has changed. There's no sense of things being corrected. It's just whatever happens to be there is there. So that's her work. And then we can talk about these photographs. So this is Alyssa Ellis. Now, these are actually really large pieces of embroidery. They're probably about, I've seen them before, so there's something like 5 foot by 4 feet, and it's all hand-drawn. So these are photographs of the experience, because she is really interested in this idea of poisonous plants. And then what she does is she goes to the site where the plants are, and then she puts this well, it almost seems like a shroud. She puts it over the plants and then photographs it. So the photographic documentation becomes an important part of the work. So it's kind of replacing the plant. And also this idea, especially in the Victorian era, they used plants as kind of a language. It had quite a different, each plant had different kind of meaning. So this says, pearly everlasting, lives for eternity and burns for revival. So it's pretty dark and nice, beautiful. So, and then she did this one here as well. So, ocean spray, flowers bloom like a summer romance. So these are quotes she would have gotten from books on flowers, and so that the shroud is over the plants. And then the last artist is Elizabeth Charters. She's actually from Victoria. She's working on a mentorship right now with Rob Hughes, who also uses light in his work. So she was mentioning that she actually had a job for a sign company, and they had so many leftover neon signs, because many companies are now switching from neon to LED. So this is part of a sign that once said restrooms. And then she uses found images to kind of evoke this sort of sense of nostalgia, or maybe a kind of dystopia. Things aren't as beautiful as you might think in this palm tree landscape. And then she has one more over here. So this is just a kind of signature. It's can't remember exactly where it's from, but so in this one she's playing with additional text. So you look at it and exactly right, and you're left in a state of confusion, not knowing what is exactly right, or can anything be exactly right. So we found once we put up all the work, it was really interesting how they worked chromatically. The colors worked with the colors we have in the gallery, so that was quite exciting to see. The exhibition is open until February 12th, so it's really worth coming to see, and there's artist statements if you want to find out more about the work, but come and visit us.